Hello, fifth grade families. Welcome to our back to school night presentation. I am Brittany Doxey.
And I'm Emily Farron.
All right, let's jump into it. A little bit about myself. I am originally from Florida. I graduated from the University of South Florida with a bachelor's in elementary education. I also have a master's in curriculum and instruction. I've lived in Colorado for about 5 years now, and I love the skiing, hiking, and hang out with my cats, Mitzi and Margot, and my husband.
I am originally from Lincoln, Nebraska, and moved to Colorado in 2008. I got my undergrad at Colorado State University in Human Development and Family Studies and continued my education getting my master's here in Denver at Metro in elementary education. I love to spend time with my niece and nephew up in Castle Rock and also my cat Pandy.
All right, so our contact info is linked here. The easiest way to get a hold of us is email. We frequently check our emails. At most, we'll get back to you in 24 hours, but it's usually a lot sooner than that. Also, weekly communications are sent home on Sundays at 3 p.m. and look for our SMORE newsletter. So it'll come from SMORE. It includes important announcements, what we're going to be learning that week, and then our specials rotation.
One thing that we are doing to prepare our fifth graders for middle school is doing the departmentalization model, which means students will have different blocks depending on what class you're in. You'll come to me first for math and science and social studies, and then you'll be in literacy, so that's reading, writing,
reading,
writing. Reading, writing, all things literacy. More to come on what class your student will be in, but you do know your homeroom class, and that's where we'll be for the first few days of school.
Our schedule is the same in past years. If you're new to El Dorado, our first bell is at 8:30. Our tardy bell is 8:40. If you're running a little bit late, you're going to have to check in at the office. And then we dismiss. Oh, wait, is that just for arrival? Okay, let's keep going. Dismissal. Our bell rings at 3:30. We walk out the garden doors. And then children can go to the kiss and go, or if they're walking home, they can go whichever way they go. But please let us know how your child gets home so that we can ensure that they get there safely.
For specials, we have Miss Matheson in art, Miss Noga for music, and Mr. Nomis for PE. We will have 3 different special groups, and we'll be placing those students. Well, they'll be mixed groups, so more to come on that as well. But every week you will know what your student has depending on blue group, white group, or gold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Google Classroom. So we have usually the first or second week we'll have students set up their Google Classroom. You should look for a Guardian email for this. We use Google Classroom pretty much daily at school. And then if students are absent, we also might assign something via Google Classroom for them to catch up on. So be on the lookout for that email.
If you have any, or your child has any special medical conditions, please let our health aide, Leanne, in the front office know, and she can get you all set up there.
Yep. So just bring any medications paperwork with you to back to school night and or to the supply drop off, and she'll help you get that sorted.
Just some important reminders. Make sure your student comes with a full water bottle every day. We do have drinking fountains that they can refill. We will have a snack time around 10-ish every day. Just make sure it's nut free. And then it can get a little chilly, so a sweatshirt or a jacket's not a bad idea.
So this year for homework, because again, we're trying to prepare our fifth grade students for middle school. So a lot of these things we're like trying to mimic that middle school model. So for math, students will have any unfinished classwork they need to complete at home. On assessment weeks, they'll need to complete assessment reviews. And then students can also complete iReady lessons for math or ELA. As they see fit at home. In science, students will have, again, any unfinished classwork and, sorry, 1 second. And then if there's unfinished projects as well. Mm-hmm. And then for ELA, we'll have weekly assignments for that. That could look like vocabulary, grammar, reading comprehension. So more to come on that later.
We do have student binders, and I like to make sure I will send math tests home. So you will see those quicker than the binder getting sent home every about 6 weeks. But those will all be put in the student data binder. So you'll sign it, we'll put it in there. But what will come home every 6 weeks is the like little check-ins that I have for science that are going to be in there. We're going to have grades at a glance for literacy. Miss Oxy, do you want to talk about how they could also see?
So like Miss Farron said, they'll have grades at a glance for maybe wonders assessments, like writing scores. However, if you want a more in-depth look, those will be accessed through Clever or through Google Classroom. And I'll always send out a little more information on that later too.
Yeah, we'll email you when the binders are coming home.
So some assessments, we do the math readiness and wonders readiness assessments in the beginning of the year. And then students will have iReady math and reading assessments. That's usually 3 times a year in the beginning, middle, and then in the end of the school year. And then we have math topic assessments and wonders biweekly assessments as well.
So for report cards, they go out twice a year, one during winter break and then one at the end of the year, and you can access those through your parent portal.
So grading for those report cards or EPRs, you'll see the levels are exceeds, meets, approaching, and does not meet. So that's kind of how our EPR grading works.
For progress reports, these will go out before you have your conferences. Those conferences are in October and March, and this will just kind of be a quick glance about how your student is doing in each subject, and like their social emotional as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, for math, yeah.
Take it away.
I'll take for math. So this year, students will be learning numbers and quantity, a little algebra. A big thing is multi-digit multiplication, division, fractions, and just having some good number sense with decimals as well.
And then for literacy, we work on reading for all purposes. So we're going to dig into informative texts. We're going to dig into like fiction as well, different types of fiction. With our writing and composition, we'll explore expository, opinion writing, and a little bit of narrative writing as well.
For science, we cover physical, life, earth, and space science. And we will cover all of that before CMAS. And 5th grade students will take science during that CMAS time. And we'll, throughout the beginning of the year, we'll do a couple social studies things, but this is more towards the end of the year. We will cover early U.S. history, so early settlement, geography, civics, and economics.
Okay, if your student is going to be absent, please call the attendance line at the number listed below, and then email your teachers if there's like an extended absence. And then also just a little note, you can send a handle with care email to both of us if your child just needs a little bit of extra support for that day.
So for makeup work, if you are just absent for a day, we'll just catch them up the next day. This really comes into play if you're going to be gone for an extended time. We will work with you, but if it's just like for a vacation, we usually just want you to enjoy, and I'm sure there's lots of learning happening wherever you're exploring. But that will just be a case-by-case kind of situation. But you can always look on Google Classroom, Clever, Wonders, and Vision if you are kind of wanting to catch up while they're resting at home.
Okay, so for parent volunteers in the classroom, we need 1 to 2 room parents that are willing to help us with parties. And then what we do is we send a survey out the first week of school. And then it's kind of like first come, first serve, whoever signs up for like the room parent role. So just be on the lookout for that survey to come out.
So for class parties, the room parents would be kind of, it'd be nice if they came in and, set up and help run the parties. And they can, you can always like volunteer as well. Sometimes it's nice to have a few extra hands, even if you're not a room parent. So we'll send out information about that too. But usually we have a Halloween, winter party, Valentine's Day, and an end of school year party as well.
And parents are always welcome to come in and class birthdays, you can definitely send in treats. Please make sure that they're nut-free, that they're individually packaged, so nothing like homemade treats. And then just make sure that it's enough for the entire like homeroom class.
So our class rules are just sticking with what El Dorado represents, which is ROAR, which is being respectful, owning your actions, always be safe, and be responsible. So we write little ROAR tickets, and they get called down to the office like every week?
Yeah, like every
week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if their ticket gets pulled. So, but that's kind of our foundation in our classes.
Class celebrations, like Emily just said, or Miss Farron just said, ROAR tickets. And then we have monthly Proud Panther. And then Miss Farron and I do something called Surprise and Delight, which is just, it's not incentive based. It's just sometimes we bring in something special, or we do something special for our kids just to have a little bit of fun. And so those are our class celebrations.
Okay, so for field trips, we would like to go on to this year. We know that PTO pays for one bus. In the second field trip, usually families have to pay a little bit for the transportation. But more to come on that.
More to come. Yeah, we don't have our field trip set up yet, but once we do, we'll let you know. And then, like she said, usually one field trip is free for families, and then the other one, there's usually like a small fee.
And we'll send out an email for parent volunteers as well.
Yep.
So that was very much appreciated.
Our emergency drills that we practice are fire drills once a month, lockdown drills twice a year, and tornado drills twice a year. If your student maybe has a little bit of a hesitation or some anxiety around any of the drills that we do practice, please send us an email just so that we can be mindful and work with that student and make sure that they're feeling as safe as possible during those times. This slide here is just a little information about the PTO. So if you see that little QR code down there in the bottom right-hand corner, you can scan that to learn more, but feel free to browse the PTO flyer here.
Okay, thank you to those that have already filled out the student survey. If you haven't, please take the time to do that. It's really important because we just want to get to know your students and any input that you have so we can have a successful school year.
Okay, and then here are our wish lists. Feel free to browse and, but no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Okay. Thank you.
And then bring any other questions that we didn't answer in our back to school presentation here. Bring them with you to the school supply drop off, and we'll be happy to answer those questions as best we can for you. Okay, well, see you soon. Bye.